What's happening, YouTube? Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film with a brand new PRLostGalaxy2014 review. And today we are taking a look at an earlier WWE Elite Collection figure of John Cena. And, well, with 2025 being the year John Cena will retire from WWE after 2 decades, well, 2025 in general, I've been on a serious John Cena fix because due to the fact that 2025 is the year he's retiring. And honestly, I go way back to when John Cena started, and he was just coming up alongside Randy Orton, Batista, and one other wrestler, Brock Lesnar, I guess, when the Attitude Era was coming to an end, and then we entered Ruthless Aggression and stuff like that. And that era of WWE was basically, well, I was still a kid then. Well, when the Attitude Era came to an end, I kind of took a few years off from watching any WWE as a kid. And of course, you know, school nights and all of that back in elementary, middle school and all. Until eventually the tragedies of 2 particular wrestlers like Eddie Guerrero and I'm not going to say his name, but when those 2 wrestlers died in 2005 and 2007 respectively, WWE changed to be more kid friendly. John Cena became Super Cena, and you know that story. But during that time, especially when Cena looked like this was back probably WrestleMania 20 or whatever in 2004 or something. Because given that render, this was when John Cena was still that naive, cocky Mr. You can't see me, and you know, trying to be like, as The Rock put it, you know, 2012 Rock put it, John Cena trying to be a homeless Power Ranger mixed with Vanilla Ice. Yeah, but if only if they, well, wait until I get that John Cena figure when he was like wearing some of those shirts when he was facing The Rock in the early 2010s after Cena had serious beef with CM Punk in 2010 and the like. And then whenever I get around any other John Cena figures, when by the time, well, here's the thing. I never was a John Cena fan in the beginning. Like, when the dude first came out, everybody hated him, like straight up hated the dude, because, well, you can thank Vince McMahon for that, you know, pushing him and making him the face of WWE once Stone Cold and The Rock and everybody else left, you know, Bret Hart, Hulk, even though Kurt Angle would show up every once in a while, but Triple H was still in WWE then, back when Triple H was the game and when he had that long locks of hair and stuff, and Shawn Michaels was still in it here and there from time to time, JBL and whatever, but, and when Batista, before Batista became Hollywood Batista, Dave Bautista, but then, you know, how, you know, the Animal, and then Randy Orton, when he, well, basically he and Randy Orton came a long way too, but, I was never a Randy Orton fan either in the beginning. I'm still not a Randy Orton fan, even, you know, that debacle that happened, why I still despise him for what he did in 2020 with a certain, Hall of Fame female from the company in 2020 and whatever he did with women in general on the show and all. But John Cena, I really have come a long way again with this guy, but I just really like, well, with him retiring in 2025, I decided to go all out, try to buy all of his merchandise, because after 2025 is up, you can't see him anymore. And that is the end of an era. Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect is no more. So, even though this was an earlier WWE Elite Collection figure package, but it's not like any of the recent ones. I thought this was like a more recent figure, but no, this is like a WWE Elite figure from like 2021 or something. So here's the front of that package of what this figure looked like if you had it, and how these figures looked like back then in like 2021, 2022. So here's that render of, you know, vintage John Cena when he had this shirt on it for the first time, and then all his stats, and then his information, where he came from West Newbury, Massachusetts, and he was, you know, in fact, John Cena is still one of the tallest legendary WWE wrestlers to be around 6 feet tall. And yeah, his finisher, Attitude Adjustment, and then, you know, other finishers like 5-Knuckle Shuffle. He came in the exact same wave with, believe it or not, Randy Orton and also Rey Mysterio and Drew McIntyre. And I was just talking about Randy Orton, so whenever I find, yeah, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and that Rey Mysterio figure if I ever do. Then I complete this entire wave of figures. With that out of the way, you can't see me. Okay, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect, time to take a look at one of your action figures. Okay, John Cena, this figure only came with 2 accessories, these 2 interchangeable hands, and one of them, of course, has his signature, like, you can't see me, and all that, you know. I was going to sing the theme song a little bit, you know, but due to content ID, I don't know how YouTube will feel about that. I mean, I do want to make fun of the whole, my time is up, my time is now, you can't see me, YouTube, your time is now. Okay, let me shut up. But you got his signature iconic pose with that damn, you can't see me. And, you know, and again, I couldn't stop saying that because that's always been his thing. Of course, some of his accessories do come off. You can take his hat off and show his, when he had that buzz cut hair looking like he think he is, you know, because everybody, you know, one of the things that I, you know, brought up about his past was that how John Cena always act like he is like Mr. G.I. Joe and stuff. And basically, if Channing Tatum wasn't Duke in the G.I. Joe movies, Cena would have been the right candidate for that role, but instead he was that military guy from the Transformers Bumblebee movie in 2018. Well, that role was a better fit for a Hasbro movie than Duke and G.I. Joe. But, you know, again, Cena was already a huge superstar overnight in WWE in the 2000s, and he got even bigger in the 2010s, but he slowed down completely in the 2020s, and this is why 2025 he's retiring. But this was when Cena was all buff and badass and, like, you know, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect. Now, if only if only one of the interchangeable hands was one of those salute hands when he always did that tribute to the troops stuff and then the hat on, yeah, you could see that happen. Never thought I would imagine in my 2 decades as a WWE, you know, fan of the 2000s, would I ever own a John Cena action figure. I mean, just look at this dude. I mean, look at Cena in general, even as a toy, let alone a collectible toy for adults. Especially look at his arms. His arms are huge. His chest is huge. His legs is huge. Everything about him was just, it's just, the dude was working out so immensely that this dude, yeah, I know, I've been saying that a lot. You know, it's repetitive. But he has been like the most badass mofos the WWE had ever seen. But again, I wasn't a John Cena fan back then, people. But I didn't really become a John Cena fan until, like, you know, 2015 when he was facing Rusev for a few WWE pay-per-views, which I did saw, like WrestleMania 31, which I've talked about, Extreme Rules 2015, which I've talked about, SummerSlam 2015, which I've talked about, back when John Cena was on that streak beating the shit out of Rusev, while embarrassing Rusev in front of Lana and all that, was just a badass mofo. And all the beef he had with so many, you know, all his legendary rivalries, ranging from Randy Orton to The Big Show to Triple H to CM Punk to Brock Lesnar to Rusev to AJ Styles to Kevin Owens to almost everybody I can think of that John Cena had beef with in his 25 plus years in WWE. But yeah, this is like one of the most egregiously best looking, I kid you not, figures of John Cena, because again, I never had John Cena as a toy. So yeah, Cena, I salute you. Thank you for everything, even though I wasn't a big fan of you, but your action figures is like one of the best top notch you ever had in WWE, period. And just looking at you as an action figure, and one day you're gone, your stuff will still live on. Your merchandise, your action figures, your t-shirts, your video game appearances, everything will live on even one day when you're gone. Let's take a look at some articulation points. Take some of the gear off, but even though, actually keep some of it on. You got the Hustle, Loyalty, Respect shirt on him. Then you also have the short jean shorts he always wore a lot. And then those shoes, you know, those signature shoes. Kind of similar like the shoes I'm wearing right now, where actually these have laces on them. All right, so let's take a look at some articulation. Head turns around all directions, up and down. Yeah, that necklace is just dangling everywhere. elbow crunch, well, due to that big ass bicep and tricep on Cena, you're not going to do much elbow crunches on this because his arms are too damn big for these elbow crunches. I'm serious. His abdomen, oh wait, this is, okay, let me see something here. If I take the shirt off for a little bit. Since this was Mattel's early attempt at doing collectible figures for WWE in the early 2020s or so. This was back before WWE, no, actually, okay, that abdomen crunch was a little stuck earlier. Where was that? So you got the abdomen crunch on that, but it was like, I thought the abdomen crunch wasn't movable or anything, but it was stuck for a bit. I don't know what the heck was going on with that. All right, let's put the shirt back on. Okay, now let's take a look at his legs and how his legs move. You got awesome, what's the word I'm looking for? Superb knee crunches on Cena, because John Cena was a big, I mean, even back in his prime, he was a big ass motherfucker. For a 6'1" dude, 17-time champion, the greatest in the world and the greatest of his era. And yeah, okay, then you got bend the toe. I don't think you can bend his feet like on the more recent figures, because again, this is a much earlier sculpt of these figures, so you're not going to really do much. I like the way how they sculpted in this white stuff to make it look like the socks he was wearing. No toe articulation, you can't flip the toes or nothing, so there you go. So with that being said, yeah, I know the hat keeps falling off. Well, I'd rather just keep his, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect stuff on, just to the fact that this is that John Cena. The next few John Cena figures I'll get is when he's all like, "You Can't See Me," Tribute to the Troops and stuff like that. Those type of figures, and even that Ultimate Edition figure I'm thinking about getting whenever I start doing the WWE Elite Collection. I mean the Ultimate Editions, where there's that John Cena where he had his earlier Dr. Thugonomics gimmick back in 2002, 2003. With that gimmick before he started doing this, and when we had that iconic theme song of his we know and love that he's been using for decades. And so with that being said, this John Cena, 2 thumbs up. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time with a brand new review, whether it be WWE, Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and the like. Until next time, everybody, with that being said, hustle, loyalty, and respect. You can't see me, YouTube.